Linking BARUTA, Communities Integration through Linear Parks and Urban Networks. BARUTA is a municipality located in Miranda. It forms part of Caracas Greenbelt, a mountain system that helps to control the city's growth and to preserve invaluable ecosystems. Its location gives it unique characteristics such as steep slopes that allows to enjoy beautiful landscapes, and also a system of creeks that, although nowadays are polluted and do not form part of the urban dynamics, represent an opportunity to generate places related to nature. These natural features have shaped the city, creating a group of disconnected urban islands with different characteristics. Some of them are monofunctional, being only residential, which means its inhabitants have to commute for other activities. Others have been built spontaneously. They function as villages with hybrid uses, promoted by their own communities. Some of them have developed urban facilities according to their needs, adapting their own houses or even stairs or alleys for communities' exchange, but they still lack of public open spaces. However, these urban fragments are connected only by an unique vertebral road that gets easily collapsed, and also a subsystem of strips that fits the fragments but are disconnected between them. The predominant hybrid uses fragments, along with the collapsed main road, define BARUTA's urban dynamics, but also the presence of two main attractor centers. At the north, there is BARUTA's town, the main commercial and mobility spot. And at the south, there is an important institutional area, Simón Bolívar University, which represents the steward for the protected areas that surround it. They are located in opposite places of the site, leading to an uneven concentration of urban facilities. So, understanding BARUTA as a system of urban islands contained by nature, how can we link them? The main driver of this urban model is to create a bond between nature and people, providing public spaces related to the place identity, articulating the urban islands through the void. To achieve this, there were defined three strategies. Connect the urban islands through a system of public spaces embracing pedestrian routes. Preserve the ecosystems, natural and urban, through a system of linear parks promoting activities in harmony with the environment. Adapt urban dynamics through urban facilities, impulsing the transformation of existing conditions and creating new hybrid areas. These strategies will be applied progressively through the following phases. Rehabilitate misused spaces, creating ties between them and communities. Integrate the natural component to the dynamics, generating public spaces that boost a relation of coexistence through contemplative and interactive activities such as agriculture. Create a pedestrian network taking advantage of the natural features of the place to improve accessibility. Generate urban facilities along these networks, adapting to communities' necessities. Conditioning some areas where future urban hybrid expansion can take place, helping to keep vitality in the new public spaces. The proposal is structured by three urban networks. Connectivity network. Connect and conditionate pedestrian routes through the implementation of sidewalks, supported by urban elevators, generating multidirectional connections along with the implementation of comfortable bus stops to reduce traffic. Green network, where the idea is to provide the so-needed public spaces through linear parks where different activities can be held while enjoying nature. Facilities network, multifunctional interventions for a variety of purposes, adapting to the people's need, boosting the economic, cultural, and educational activities of the community. To better understand all these systems working together, we focus on 4 interventions. The first intervention takes this corridor characterized by the presence of BARUTA's main road, which is always collapsed since it represents the unique connection between the diverse commercial and residential areas, encompassing 2 of the most dense villages of the place and also the existing creek, which is not in good conditions and appears to be unnoticed. So, although this area is rich and diverse in terms of uses and urban dynamics, it lacks public spaces and mobility systems, so communities are isolated. The idea is to generate an active corridor taking advantage of the existing dynamics. For this, it will generate bus stops to improve accessibility, besides the creation of pedestrian routes that will work along with new public spaces as green parks and squares that will help to integrate not only communities, but nature and the creek itself, seeking its progressive sanitation. At the south of the corridor, we've detected a strategic point that could work as an attractor center that seeks to articulate the neighboring communities to enhance its integration. On it, different activities related to sports, recreation, culture, and contemplation will be held, along with new commercial areas and the relocation of some residences to revitalize the place. So, disconnected areas will be transformed using as criteria the creation of open public spaces contained by hybrid facilities that work along with urban elevators and buildings adapted to the topography, providing vertical connections. To make this place, with lack of public spaces, work as an attractor node, we will revitalize the place by giving to the pedestrian a main role, establishing multidirectional connections and shortcuts while improving the place's existing areas and creating new ones, in which is possible to promote integration not only between communities but with nature. So, multipurpose public spaces will take place to incentivize communities' integration, providing new facilities in relation to the natural features of the place, such as La Guairita Creek and the steep slopes, promoting a sense of attachment. A second intervention takes place in this sector occupied by a social housing project, conformed by a number of small buildings with misused open spaces. Here, there is an area located in the central zone, characterized by being a large misused zone that happens to be on unstable terrain over steep slopes. The place is surrounded by isolated communities, both private and self-constructed villages, and a few urban facilities disconnected from the dynamics. To promote a better integration between the surrounding communities, we propose multifunctional spaces in which cultural and sport activities will take place, along with a new housing development with hybrid uses. Additionally, where steep slopes represent a barrier, they will become the main connector of the sector, linking areas where open spaces and buildings are harmoniously integrated with the environment. Therefore, in order to revitalize and enhance pre-existing urban dynamics, a network of open public spaces will work as an attractor, providing new urban facilities, complementing the existing ones. Also, urban elevators attached to commercial areas are proposed to increase urban activity and anticipating urban expansion, new areas for progressive housing development are considered. Thus, the intervention seeks to provide enjoyable and pleasant spaces in which communities can interact with each other, while a new and stronger bond between people and nature is built. The third intervention takes place in this area characterized by recreational park, residential urbanizations, and the presence of the Simón Bolívar University, which protects the mountainous zone that surrounds it, and its biodiversity by the implementation of activities related to the existing nursery. These green areas, along with topography conditions, work as a barrier, hindering urban dynamics of the place. The idea is to generate a botanical lineal park, taking advantage of the existing activities, creating a different height that adapts to topography, pedestrian structure, and spaces to enjoy and contemplate the natural landscapes. This will work by the hand of new urban facilities along the corridor to activate the area, while the university, the residential areas, and the new centrality will be connected, boosting new dynamics. So it can work at south, a cultural park will be developed, acting as an attractor to the zone and as a gate to the entire corridor, where the colors of nature and its landscape become the main protagonist. It will also establish new connections, transforming monofunctional typologies into hybrid ones, giving place to a new boulevard. So, where misused areas took place, a new park will hold multifunctional spaces for community related to educational and recreational activities, and as a consequence, the progressive cleaning of the creek. The place will be a tropical oasis where the community can enjoy different activities surrounded by beautiful scenarios that become worthy to admire and preserve. And for last, towards the east, a different intervention takes place where there is a ravine that, along with the topography, becomes a barrier between the surrounding neighborhoods, alongside in the main road, which presents an opportunity to create new transversal connections. Near this area, there are religious institutions as well as growing self-constructed villages and private residential areas, and an important educational institution. This represents a wide range of dynamics along the future corridor. The proposal contemplates the creation of an ecological park with platforms and pedestrian routes to be in touch with exuberant vegetation of the place, as well as giving predominance to the creek along the park. To guarantee the activity of the place, an attractor node would be created next to the chapel, where community gardens are contemplated so crop can be grown while people can share. So, a misused and disconnected area becomes a place that relies on topography to generate terraces, where the community can establish a bond with the environment while preserving it. To make this place an attractor corridor, along with the platforms, a system of elevators will be implemented to activate new dynamics and enhance the existing, as well as new commercial facilities. The intervention is seen as an opportunity to create exchange spaces with the surrounding communities, where misused spaces can become new experiences to live the place. The intention of this proposal is to highlight the natural values of the site, creating spaces that respond to them and to communities' necessities, generating a park network that will work as the shelter of the fragmented urban islands that conforms the place today. Linking BARUTA is about interconnection between communities through shortcuts and alternative pedestrian routes that integrate different public spaces that embrace the natural features of the place, providing new ways of living them while they are preserved. The idea is to stop perceiving steep slopes as barriers and find in them multiple opportunities to connect, integrate, and adapt to the diversity of the place in terms of natural resources and urban dynamics.